This woman, in a fit of revenge against her neighbor, decided to bake a chocolate cake. However, instead of using traditional ingredients, she scraped dog poop from the bottom of her shoe, poop that she had stepped on earlier, and mixed it into the batter. She then baked it into a delicious-looking cake and brought it over to her neighbor, claiming she'd made it just for them. When the neighbors saw the cake, they eagerly dug in without a second thought. Not only did they fail to notice anything strange, but they even praised her for the delicious cake she had made. The woman's name was Mary, and she had been driven to this extreme measure because her neighbor had been a constant nuisance in her life. It all started one morning when Mary was heading out to work. As she stepped outside, she accidentally stepped into a pile of dog poop on her lawn. It was disgusting, and upon closer inspection, she realized it was from her neighbor's dog, which had been using her yard as its bathroom. Annoyed but in a hurry for work, Mary didn't confront the neighbor. But when she returned home after a long day, ready to relax, the neighbor blasted heavy metal music so loudly that it shook her entire house. The noise was unbearable and kept her from being able to sleep. Frustrated, Mary went over to knock on their door, hoping they'd turn it down. Instead, the neighbor mocked her, telling her to mind her own business or else they'd make her life miserable by playing even louder music. Left with no other choice, Mary called the police. Unfortunately, they told her the issue wasn't their problem and suggested she get together with other neighbors to talk to the city council. With nowhere to turn, Mary drove out to a quiet lakeside and slept in her car for the night. The next morning, when she returned home, she found that the noise had continued through the night. The neighbor was still asleep, completely oblivious to how much havoc they'd caused. Mary had had enough. In an act of vengeance, she pulled out the loudest lawnmower she could find and started it up right outside her neighbor's house, letting it run in circles on her own lawn. But just as she was getting started, she stepped in something once again: dog poop. The neighbor's dog had left yet another mess on her yard. At that moment, Mary snapped. She stormed back into her house, immediately baked a chocolate cake, and mixed the dog poop from her shoe into the batter. She then brought it over to her neighbor's house, pretending it was a peace offering, and lured them into eating it. Afterward, Mary felt a wave of satisfaction. Her revenge was complete, and finally, she could breathe a little easier.